Since 1981, the United States has followed a policy until the last year or so we started rethinking it, that we rich countries that produce a lot of food should sell it to poor countries and relieve them of the burden of producing their own food. So thank goodness they can leap directly into the industrial era. It has not worked. It's maybe been good for some of my farmers in Arkansas, but it has not worked. It was a mistake. It was a mistake that I was a party to. I am not pointing the finger at anybody. I did that. I have to live every day with the consequences of the lost capacity to produce a rice crop in Haiti to feed those people because of what I did. Nobody else. I did that. I have to live every day with the consequences of the lost capacity to produce a rice crop in Haiti to feed those people because of what I did. Nobody else. Nobody else.
Mark Weisbrot is a former economic consultant to Haiti.
The organizations that already have money should be spending it right now. This is emergency relief.
We wanted to find out what has been spent so far. So the past several weeks, our CBS News investigation looked at 5 major nonprofits: CARE, Catholic Relief Services, the Red Cross, the Clinton Bush Haiti Fund, and the separate Clinton Foundation Haiti Fund. Only the Clinton Bush Fund and the Clinton Foundation refuse to answer our questions, despite repeated emails and phone calls. Their websites say they've collected about $51 million donor dollars, but have only spent about $7 million, less than 1/7. The other charities gave us breakdowns. The Red Cross has raised $444 million and spent about 25% of it, $55 million for emergency relief such as food and kitchen items, $42.9 million for shelter, including tarps, tents, and blankets. CARE has raised $34.4 million and spent about 16%, $2.5 million on shelter. And at Catholic Relief Services, of $165 million committed to Haiti, it spent no more than 8%, $2.5 million on food, $1.28 million on emergency shelter.
Haiti, October 2010, at a hospital in a small rural town north of the capital. These were the first victims of a horrific unknown disease in a country still reeling from a devastating earthquake. Patients were dying in the space of a few hours. Children were especially vulnerable. Cholera had somehow arrived in Haiti. And it wasn't long before rumors that UN Nepalese peacekeepers were involved led us to a base on the banks of the country's largest river.
What are you digging? Why are you digging here? Well, we're not being told exactly what's going on here, but it certainly smells like sewage. There are toilets right there, and the liquid seems to be draining into this river just a few meters away that flows into the nearby town of Mirebalais. Toilets right there, and the liquid seems to be draining into this river just a few meters away that flows into the nearby town of Mirebalais.
In the more than 2 years since we first visited this site, almost everything that we suspected from the scenes that we found now appears to be true. Scientists have said that the cholera found in that river is almost identical to a strain of the disease found in Nepal before those soldiers were deployed. Even Bill Clinton, the UN Special Envoy to Haiti, has said that UN peacekeepers from that base are the likely source of the disease in Haiti. But the one thing that hasn't happened is that the UN hasn't accepted any kind of liability for bringing the epidemic to this country. In fact, at this point, they still won't even talk about it.
Claims found to be outside the scope of Section 29 of the Convention are not receivable. The consequence of a finding that a claim is not receivable is that the claim will not receive further consideration by the organization.
That statement was very brief.
It's a brief statement, it's a legal statement, and that's about all we're going to say on that.
But why is the claim not receivable?
Well, it's not the United Nations practice to discuss in public the details of our responses to claims against the organization.
So you don't have to explain yourselves?
No.
You're saying that not only do they not get compensation, but you don't even have to explain why?
Well, that's exactly what I said. That's the United Nations policy.
What would you say to a family member in Haiti who has had somebody die as a result of this disease?
Well, I would basically say, as a UN employee or as a human being.
What would you say to a family member in Haiti who has had somebody die
as a result of this disease?
Well, I would basically say, as a UN employee or as a human being, as a UN employee or as a human being, as a UN employee or as a human being, as both. I would simply say, I'm really sorry about your loss. I'm really sorry that the cholera happened. We don't exactly know what the origins are, but we're working as hard as we can to address
everybody knows what the origins were. The scientific community is united.
Our panel told us that it was due to a confluence of circumstances.
Including being brought to Haiti, most likely by UN peacekeepers from
That's not what it said.
Wait a minute. So the UN still maintains that Nepalese soldiers weren't the most likely source of cholera in Haiti? We asked one of their own scientists. They found a range of evidence pointing towards the UN peacekeepers, including that the type of cholera was very similar to a recent outbreak in Nepal.
Since the time of our report, our conclusions have been significantly strengthened. The Nepal strain of cholera was fully sequenced and compared to the Haitian strain. And when they did that direct comparison, it was found that of the 4 million base pairs in cholera, there was only one base pair that was different between the two strains. And in genetics, we consider that an exact match.
As far as we know, the claims that they are giving us are non-receivable, and that's under international law.
Stonewalled by this official, we decided there must be someone at UN headquarters who could explain the organization's decision.
Good evening, and we begin tonight with the monster hurricane and its deadly impact already. And tonight, up and down the East Coast, authorities are already warning Americans to prepare for possible mass evacuations. Look at the size of this storm on satellite at this hour. Tonight, a direct hit in Haiti, slamming ashore at 145 miles per hour. Hurricane Matthew is a Category 4, a massive amount of rain.